Tank Tops and Sweaters. It's Yvette and Kelly here, and we are going to be talking about our journal prompt that we dropped into our newsletter and onto Instagram, as well as to all of our signups who had joined our newsletter, about letting go of perfection and enjoying the moment and making memories, because this is such a busy holiday season. And sometimes we get really wrapped up in that perfection mode of really wanting to make everything so perfect for each and every situation, or gift wrapping and decorating and baking and cooking. And we kind of get lost in that instead of allowing ourselves to be a part of it. So we are going to have this wonderful conversation today about how we can let go of that perfection and enjoy the moments. So
I love it.
yes. So Kelly, why don't we first go over what the journal prompt was?
Okay, so the journal prompt was, how are you going to let go of perfecting the moment and savor it instead? Is that right? Yeah, something like
Yes.
that. I'm trying to
Yes.
remember what's on my. So, and I think our thought in this is like, we set these expectations, and I think culturally in society, we have these expectations of creating this perfect Christmas. And in creating that, as especially as moms, as parents, we know that it's not always easy. It's very stressful sometimes for us. So I think we've talked about, and how do we help each other let go of some things and really enjoy the moments instead of trying to just meet those expectations.
I also think like there's, especially when I found when my child was younger, that I was comparing myself to other moms and what they were doing for their children, and all the little things they were setting up and the experiences they were creating and this and that. And it was like this big stress factor of like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing enough, or I'm not, creating these
Making it
memories.
magical enough.
Yes, I'm not making it magical enough. And it's just that stress that starts to pile upon yourself of that comparison when you start to look
Yeah.
at others. And instead, maybe saying, oh, that's so nice for them, but I love what we're doing here. And,
Mhm.
I love spending time and enjoying these moments with my family. And
And
that's
I
another
think like
thing.
a great, what's that?
Well, I was gonna say that's another thing, is spending time with family and creating
Right.
those moments, which also though can in turn be very stressful.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
I think in the process of doing this, and I know when I sat down to journal, I kind of thought of, what do I want to hold on to that brings me joy? And
Mhm.
what are the things that I'm doing because I feel like I have to? And if I'm doing them because I have to, is it because they bring my family joy? If it's not
Right.
bringing anybody joy, why the heck are we doing it?
And if you're so stressed, let's be honest, when you're
Mhm.
stressed, that stresses your family out. So
Yeah, if
everyone
mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, right?
exactly, exactly. So if everyone is stressed, how are you enjoying the moment? How is anyone enjoying the moment? How are you creating a good memory? You're not.
Exactly.
You are not at
And
all.
I think I look back on it now because my kids are getting older, and this is the first year I don't have all my kids home for Christmas, and it's very heartbreaking. But I look back and I think, what will they remember from that? And it's really funny when I talk to my adult children about what they do remember or what they look forward to when they come home. And those are the things that I think are important. The ones that the memories that they hold on to that are important to them. Like a couple of ours are, I make two things for Christmas breakfast, and every year they're like, you're making it, right? You're making them, right? And it's these two casseroles, and every Christmas we have the same casseroles, only because they love them. It's the only time of year I make them. And
Yep.
another one is I called it the Polar Express when they were little. And we would get hot chocolate and we'd be in our PJs, and if it was cold, we'd have blankets. If it wasn't, we'd be blasting the air, and we'd drive around the neighborhoods and look at Christmas lights and listen to Christmas music.
I love
And
that.
that's one of those things that we still to this day do because it's just something they want to do. So those are the things I
Yeah.
keep. But in looking at that, now let's talk about the things that we can let go of.
Well, I think it's those, like you tapped in it on it because it's, when you grow up as an adult, it's not the tiny little detail, perfected details that you're going to remember. It's the
Right.
moments. It's those
Yeah.
moments and memories that you
Mhm.
remember, like specific foods that might be on the table, or, you know, um, piling in the car and going and looking at lights. We do that too. We make hot chocolate. Everyone has a cup of hot chocolate in hand, and we bundle up and we get in the car and we drive around the neighborhoods looking at lights, and it's just so fun. And we have Christmas music playing, and it's great. And then we come home and we watch a Christmas movie or Christmas show or do something fun like that. So it's those memories that are so special. And I think the letting go part is like all those perfecting details. And really,
Yes.
no one is going to remember. I mean, if you think about your own childhood and your own Christmas memories and holiday memories, like, do you remember if your mom, made like the perfect bows on the presents, or she, had like
Or the
all
tree
these
was
little.
impeccable.
Yes, the tree was impeccable, or like everything was, sparkly, shiny, and perfect. It
Yeah.
wasn't. It's the memories that you make with your family
Right.
that are the most special and the most special times. Like I remember my mom, because, when we were growing up, our
Yeah.
generation, we only got specific special Christmas programs on TV on a
Yes. And
specific
on a specific
time.
day at a specific time.
Yes, on a specific day at a certain time. And if you missed it, you missed it. No reruns, no going and rewinding or
No
getting it
Netflix.
on
No,
YouTube. No
yeah.
Netflix. So my mom always made that such a special night for my sister and I. She would get a pomegranate and she would cut it in half, and she would give one to my sister and one for me. And we would sit in front of the TV and we would pop all of our little pomegranate seeds out and sit there and just enjoy and watch. And it was such a simple, simple thing. And my mom didn't worry
Yeah.
about like pomegranate juice going everywhere, or, you know, getting messy or perfecting that moment. She just allowed us to enjoy. And it's like such a special memory for us. And now I
Hmm.
always want to have like a pomegranate this season because it brings back such
Aww.
good memories. But those are
I
the
love
things
that.
that I think
Yeah.
make such special moments, and not
Hmm.
the tiny details.
Right. And it is. And I think so, like when I think about letting go of some things, yeah, one thing that comes to my mind is I have all my nieces over that are in the area, um, to come, my nieces and nephews to come make cookies one year. And so it started out that I had them go from start to finish, right? Like we mixed them, we chilled them, we baked them, we did all that stuff. And I have learned over the years to let go of them being in the kitchen part of it and let them
Oh,
have fun decorating them. So I
yes.
cook them ahead of time when I have time, and then they just decorate them. And then I can enjoy them, and I'm not stressed about cookies in the oven, or this
Yes.
isn't done, or this one's mixing this. And I mean, it is getting easier as they get older, but just letting go of just that step, still
Hmm.
having the experience and the moment with them
I
is
think
still fun, but just
you
not the
can,
whole thing.
not the whole thing. And I mean, you could even take that one step further and just buy pre-made mix.
Buy them.
Buy the pre-made mix, the pre-made cookie dough, and just slap it in the
Or buy the
oven.
cookies done, the blank cookies, and
Yes.
just let them decorate it.
Yes, those already made cookie kits, just that tiny bit
Mhm.
of investment is gonna buy back so many more
Right.
memories that you can make and take the stress off.
And time.
I think the thing that we are both trying to pinpoint here is allowing yourself to enjoy this time instead of feeling the
Mhm.
stress and the pressure that the holidays can bring, allowing yourself to insert yourself into the enjoyment and the joy that this time of the year brings. And
I
a
think
lot,
so often we find ourselves in the background trying to make the magic and make everybody happy and keep
yes,
it clean, keep it pretty and keep it bright and cheerful. And in doing that, sometimes we lose out on the joy in the moments. And
right.
so, like you said, how is it that we can insert ourselves? I love that term, like insert ourselves, so that
Yes,
we are finding the joy too.
yes. Because again, back to if mama isn't happy, nobody's happy. We're not creating joy when we're not joyful.
Exactly. You can't just, we always say you can't fill from an empty cup. You can't fill somebody else's cup
Yeah, you
if
cannot.
your cup is empty.
You cannot. But also, don't lose yourself, meaning people pleasing. So that's another
Yes.
thing of letting go of, another perfection of
Mhm.
letting go of is trying to people please everybody. And so much, there's so many events and parties and things that are happening during this time, and allowing yourself to set boundaries and healthy boundaries and saying, no, this doesn't fit into our time or our schedule, or no, because I'd rather, go look at lights with my family instead of
Yeah.
going to another party. And
Mhm.
not to be mean or not to be rude, but at the same time, you know, spending time with your family, you only get that once. And they're only, with kids especially, they're only that age for that very moment. And both Kelly and I are like, oh, right now,
Ah!
because both of our kids are going to be turning into adults very, very soon,
Mhm.
going off to college. So yeah, it flies by, as they say, and you only get that age for that moment. So enjoy it and cherish it, because if you're not in it with them and enjoying it with them, you're going to be looking back and saying, "Oh gosh, I wish I could have just spent more time."
Yes, absolutely 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
What else are you doing? What else did you like when you were journaling? What else did you
Oh
come up with to
yes.
let go?
Um, oh my gosh, I think it was just that, was like setting boundaries for myself
Mhm.
and not feeling guilty about having to say yes to everybody. And I recently, had someone reach out and say, "Oh, let's get together next week." And I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I can't.
Yeah.
Let's try and get after together maybe after the new year or something like that." And
Mhm.
I think that's such a healthy way of saying, like, I just want to spend time with my family right now because that's the most important. Um,
Yes. You're treasuring that time, protecting it.
I'm protecting it and trying not to perfect it. The other thing is, I love that you brought up the cookie thing, because I totally remember when my son was little, and I would bake cookies and we would decorate them, and I had a whole decorating station set up. We had the icing. I had like, three different colors of icing that I
Mhm.
made. I had sprinkles galore. We have a fun little baking shop nearby, and so they always had like the cutest sprinkles and decorations at this time of year. So I would
Aw.
go and load up on that. And so I have this humongous box. My husband just rolls his eyes, but it
I
was
know.
just,
Same.
yes. And I would set it up. And when, my son was little, it was the cutest thing, but it just drove my husband and I crazy, because he would literally take a bottle of sprinkles and he would just pour it, dump it on, and you're just like, ah.
I know.
I would say, okay, let it go. Let it, he's
Yeah.
loving it. He's super proud of it. Totally fine. Like, who
Yep.
cares?
And we can clean
And
it all up later. Yeah.
yes, yeah. We had a vacuum, and
Mhm.
I just had paper towels and things underneath. So it wasn't like it was
Yeah.
total disaster or anything, but it was just like, who cares? Like he's enjoying
Hmm.
himself and he's loving it. And that's what matters in this very moment. And to this
Exactly.
day, he loves that. Absolutely loves
Yes.
decorating cookies and it's so fun. And not so much, dumping the sprinkles out, but he totally remembers that. So it's those little memories that you just kind of remember.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but
that's what you want. Those are the things that you want to keep, or the things that make those memories
yes,
and bring you joy.
yes. And I think it's just that whole, setting the healthy boundaries, but also enjoying your moments, letting go of your perfection, not making sure like
Hmm.
all the decorations are in specific spots and everything is perfect, but allowing your kids to just put them where they want to put them. You know, your Christmas tree or your decorations are just as much for them to take a part of as it is for you. Um,
Right.
and so it's just, you don't have to have a perfect Christmas tree. Sometimes a perfect Christmas tree is the one that has memories on it, the one where
Perfectly imperfect.
it is perfectly imperfect. Yes. And if your
Yes.
child put all their decorations on one side, that's okay.
Hmm.
We
And
learn,
see, and that's funny that you say that, because my youngest was the only one home decorating the tree this year, because just of
right?
schedules and
Yes.
things like that. So, but
Yes.
she was reminiscing about a sibling that puts him in just in this corner all the time, right? But it's a fun memory, and it's like it. I don't know. You and I had started reading, and I'm only like halfway into it. Hidden Potential, but
Yes.
he has the line in there that has been sticking with me for days, and it's about the beauty of the imperfection.
Yep.
And I've been thinking about that so much lately, and looking at, like, my tree is such a hodgepodge of decorations, like, because it's just a collection of ornaments over, my oldest is 24. So over the last 25 years or so, collections of different ornaments. They make them, they buy them, they get them, we give them, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I have the most imperfect tree, but to me, it is the most beautiful tree
Oh,
because
same.
it's got 25 years of memories on it.
Oh, same. Same. And that is the thing, right? Like it's the memories that we hold on to so dear that bring us such joy. And like our tree, it's really funny because there's just three of us and we've learned to kind of section it off. So like here's my side, here's my husband's side, and the bottom's like cool, my son's side. It's just, but it's awesome because we sort of know that's just how we've done it ever
It's
since
so
he was little.
funny. I
And
love that.
it's so fun because when
Yeah,
we
it's
put
so
the tree
fun.
up and we're all, it's not we have to perfectly put these decorations
Mhm.
on. It's just like, put it where you want. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter. It's our tree. We're the ones who get to enjoy it. So,
exactly. Yeah.
right. Now, if you're like in a really nice fancy house and you have like several trees, then you can have a hodgepodge imperfection tree and then you
Yeah.
can have a beautiful tree somewhere else. That's
Right.
beautifully decorated for show. But
Exactly.
I think there is, like you said, there's such beauty in that imperfection because it's
Mhm.
made with love. It's made with memories. It's yeah, I think
Well,
that
and I think that, and maybe it's the stage that you and I are at. I think we're
oh
both
yeah.
into holding on to that instead of,
Yes. Yes.
and instead of living up to the expectation and the magazine perfect living room and tree and decorations and front porch and things like that. It's like I have so gotten over trying to, and I, don't get me wrong, I was once there trying to make my front entrance look perfect and my
Mhm.
tree look perfect when everybody comes over and the Christmas napkins are out and the table's always set and looking pretty. This just not realistic. Like it was too hard with three kids. And it was one of those of like, let it go. This is about them and about making memories. So I think I have gotten for somewhat there, but not all the way there, letting go of like the expectations. It's taken time, right?
And I think like that is another thing. Like if you are hosting a party or you are having friends and family over, it's it's really hard because you're playing hostess. But if I think back to those times of when I played hostess, I'm not a part of what is happening. I'm the
So worried about what's going
running
on.
around trying to make sure everything is perfect, everything's taken care of, making sure there's fresh towels in the bathroom and that, the
Mhm.
kitchen is still cleaned up and filling up people's drinks and making sure everyone has what they need. And I've not inserted myself into the situation to enjoy that. And at the end, it was like, you sort of look at your partner and be like, oh, that was nice. It was like, yeah, it's nice.
But you know what? I think that brings up a good point. Like in that situation, what's something you could let go of that
Right.
you could put yourself in that situation? And to me, like I think about what I would do, I'd be ordering food instead of cooking it at this point in time. Because then I get to be with everyone and enjoy it. Do you know
Or
what I mean? Like that's something I would
or
let
have
go of.
everyone bring something.
Yes, exactly. Make it
Or
a
have
potluck.
everyone, yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Exactly. So I think that it's not don't do these things. I think it's how do we change them a little bit so that we can also enjoy the moment and
Right.
have find it and not
Instead
be
of
so sad.
bringing out my fancy china, why not get fun little paper plates and napkins that you can just recycle? I mean, it's
I love that.
those little things that you can let go of
Hmm.
so you can insert yourself instead of running around filling everybody's drinks. Have a
Have a drink station.
have a drink station. Yeah, have a drink station.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
that way you're just like, okay, I don't have
Hmm.
to make sure everyone can take care of themselves and I can
Yes.
now enjoy and insert myself. But I think it's so hard because like you said, you wanted to create the perfect front porch or you wanted to create the perfect decorations. And again, it goes back to that comparison when we see those beautiful
Hmm.
magazine covers or those, you know, um HGTV crafted fabulous homes
The
and
perfect mantle.
perfect mantle. And
Hmm.
instead, I think it goes back to that, the beauty of imperfection and letting go, and maybe allowing your kids to insert some of that imperfection. Because to us, what we find beauty and beautiful and perfect, our
Hmm.
kids, and in the eyes of kids and in the view of kids, they may think of it as something completely different.
Exactly. Yes,
And, and sometimes that's more beautiful than this perfectly crafted thing.
it absolutely is. But I think these were like great examples of little things that we can let go of, not necessarily letting go of the event or the moment, but
No.
just ways that we can enjoy the moment, right? And I love the putting boundaries and not saying yes to everything because I also think that we get into this, it's Christmas time, I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this. You don't have to. Like we can say, no, I'm so sorry, I can't attend that. Like you said, can we get together after the first
Mhm.
of the year or something like that? Or can we do it after Christmas party? And so I think those are great ideas. And I know that we would love to talk so much more about this. So if you haven't already, please sign up to join us to talk on a live Zoom call about any of our journal prompts. We'll be doing two this month. One is this Thursday. I don't know if this will go out in time, hopefully. The 14th. Is that right?
Yes,
And then the other one is, and I don't want to screw this up. I
I
think
know.
it's the 28th. It's going to
28.
be after Christmas.
Yeah.
28th. So they will be at 8:30 Eastern time, 5:30 Pacific time in the evening. So grab a drink, join us. We would love to hear what you're journaling about, what your ideas are about, um, and how you're processing kind of all of this. And let's talk about it together. So please join us. If you haven't already subscribed, go to tanktopsandsweaters.com and subscribe to our newsletter because you will also be getting their journal prompts with some bonus content in the email. And if you haven't hit subscribe to our YouTube channel, please go hit it now. And we would love to hear what you guys think and what you would like us to talk about too. So take care and we will see you soon.
See you soon.